My name is Ben Fuchs, Pharmacist Ben, they call me. I'm a nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements in my practice. Don't like drugs. Never liked drugs. Never understood the concept of using drugs to heal the body, of using poisons when you have some kind of disease or illness. Listen up, folks. If you're not as healthy as you'd like to be, if you're dealing with any kind of chronic degenerative disease, I'm here to tell you that shy of mechanical trauma or damage, shy of an organ that's been removed, strictly from a biochemical perspective, strictly from a biochemically logical perspective, you don't need a drug, you don't need a doctor, you don't need a surgical procedure. Even diseases that they tell you that are irreversible, like type 1 diabetes or for example, even these kinds of so-called irreversible disease states are indeed reversible. And how do I know this? Well, first of all, it's just logical. The body is constantly and dynamically building and breaking down. Out with the old, in with the new. That is its nature. Everything is turning over. The cellular construction of our bodies is different today than it was yesterday. It is different today than it will be tomorrow. And that is our promise and our testimony that whatever our health condition is today, we don't have to have it tomorrow. Second of all, it's been done. Many people have remitted from cancer. Many people have reversed their autoimmune diseases. Many people have eliminated their acne and reduced their blood pressure without medical intervention, without drugs. And if it's been done once, if the human body can do it in one person, it can be done potentially in any case in any body. So one of the most important and exciting and inspiring ideas in all of health and wellness is the idea that our bodies are designed to heal. The idea that it's in the nature of the body to heal. The idea that if our bodies are not healing, we are somehow doing something to muck up the works. A third important idea is the fact that the body breaks down in a classic, generic kind of way. The appearance may be different, superficially, but at the core of all degenerative diseases, whether we're talking about atherosclerosis or autoimmune diseases, at the core, you're going to find some basic similarities. There's going to be an inflammatory response, meaning that the defense system has somehow been activated. The emergency nervous system, the so-called sympathetic nervous system, is going to be activated. This will show up as insomnia and weight gain and high blood pressure, immune system breakdown, constipation, heartburn, oily skin, perhaps dry skin. And this is all underneath all degenerative diseases. The body breaks down in a generic fashion. Underneath all chronic degenerative disease, you'll find an activated emergency response system, a chronically activated emergency response system. And underneath all of that, no matter what your degenerative disease is, you're going to find hypothyroidism. You're going to find underneath that digestive issues and blood sugar issues. And this is for all degenerative diseases. Digestive distress, blood sugar distress, and hypothyroidism, and an activated sympathetic or stress nervous system. And while one system may be affected more than another, it may be the nerves, or it may be the skin, or it may be the joints, or it may be the bone, no matter where it's occurring, you are basically witnessing the manifestation of a body that is in breakdown mode. And it doesn't really matter from a healing perspective whether your illness has been diagnosed as MS or Marfan's disease or heart disease or arthritis or any of the nearly 13,000 different diseases that you can be diagnosed with. What I'm saying here, folks, is it doesn't matter. From the point of healing, from the point of regeneration, it doesn't matter where the breakdown is localized in the body. This is so, so important. All we need to do, no matter what our health condition is, no matter where it's showing up, all we need to do is feed the body and keep the poison out and breathe correctly and exercise a bit and rest a lot. And that's it. Feed the body with good food, good nutrients. Keep the poison out by not eating the corporate swill and the processed food. Breathe correctly and rest, exercise a bit and rest a lot. That's it, guys. It couldn't be much easier. The human biological system is designed to heal. It's designed to regenerate and thrive. We're built to heal. But in order to heal our bodies, we have to feel safe. Our bodies have to feel safe. We have to communicate the message of safety to our bodies, spiritually through connection to God and the divine force, mentally and emotionally by the thoughts we're thinking and the emotions we're feeling, and physically through oxygenation and eating and drinking correctly, by breathing deeply, exhaling completely, by eating as little as we need and eating correctly, and avoiding problem foods, and staying away from processed foods, drinking clean water, and absolutely, positively supplementing with the Mighty 90 essential nutrients. The alternative to this mode of being, where the body has what it needs and isn't having to deal with what it doesn't want, the alternative is, unfortunately, what we see as chronic degenerative disease. And it's so tragic and it's so unfortunate because the body is meant to heal. And all it needs to do its healing work is just a few things. It needs oxygen, it needs lack of poison, it needs nutrition and nutritional supplementation, as well as mental, emotional, and spiritual strategies. And one of the neatest things about the Longevity line of products is it makes nutritional supplementation, it makes accessing the Mighty 90 nutrients so simple. It's just a matter of the Healthy Start Pack. It's just a matter of using your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, sipping on the BTT throughout the day, making sure you're getting your Ultimate EFAs and your OsteoFX, making sure you're getting your Mighty 90 nutrients. And you know what? The upside is no chronic degenerative disease. The upside is no prescription drugs. The upside is a long and healthy and vital life. And we're here to make that easy for you. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, please give us a call. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. Or toll free, 888-379-2552. That's 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552 toll free. I am Pharmacist Ben, sitting in for Doc Wallach today. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. We'll be back right after this. I'll be sitting in for the next 45 minutes or so with my good friend and colleague, Doug Winfrey. Good to talk to you again, Douglas. How's it going?
Great to have you on, as always. And got one that comes right down your alley, because I know I've worked with you enough over the years to know of your love of sunscreens. And this came from Fox News. And the headline reads, "It's nearing high season for sunscreen. Before you run out and purchase some and slather it on, or on what's left from last summer, here's 5 things to keep in mind." They say, of course, they talk about the SPF, which is an acronym for Sun Protection Factor.
We should talk about that.
Yeah, and they say it tells how well the sunscreen will filter out and how the sun's ultraviolet radiation. They say doubling SPF doesn't double protection. And SPF 15 sunscreen, for example, filters out approximately 93% of all UVB rays. SPF 30 protects you against 97% of UVB rays, and SPF 50 gets you 98%. According to the FDA, they say sunscreen should go no lower than SPF 15, but there's not much benefit in going a lot higher. And they say these sunscreens do have an expiration date and can last up to 3 years, according to the Mayo Clinic, so you should always check your expiration date. And they say infants shouldn't wear sunscreen. The FDA warns that chemicals in sunscreen could be harmful to babies younger than 6 months. And so you should just keep them in clothing and hats. And they say sunscreen can be flammable. The FDA has had a few reports of people getting burns while wearing the spray sunscreen near open flames or barbecues or candles or cigarettes. And they say alcohol and other chemicals in the spray can catch on fire. So you should read the label.
Sounds like good stuff. Sounds like really good stuff. So I want to spread all over my skin.
There's no such thing as waterproof or sweatproof. They say 2012, the FDA outlawed those terms on packaging. They say water resistant instead. They say you should reapply every 40 or 80 minutes, depending. So
you know what I say.
I have a different opinion on that.
You know what I say, Doug? I say don't get your sunscreen or health information from Fox News. That's what I say. In fact, I don't
be bagging on my favorite news.
Is it really? Okay, I won't say anything about it. Listen, there's so much bad information in what you just said, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, SPF's sun protection factor is a measurement of how long you can stay out in the sun without burning. Nothing more, nothing less. It doesn't have anything to do with 98% less UVB or 99%. It's just a measurement of how long you can stay out in the sun. So if you can stay out in the sun, say, 5 minutes without burning, and then you wear an SPF of 15, now you can stay out in the sun 15 times 5 minutes without burning. So SPF is like a multiplication factor. You can stay out in the sun 10 minutes without burning, and you wear an SPF of 30. Now you can stay out in the sun 30 times 10 minutes, or 300 minutes. So what's 300 minutes now? 5 hours, right? So you can stay out in the sun for 5 hours if you burn in 10 minutes and you wear an SPF of 30. That should be plenty for anybody. That's first of all. So SPF is only a measurement of how much longer you can stay out in the sun. That makes sense? It's not a percentage.
Yeah, it does. I never knew that, though. I always thought it was this percentage thing that you see.
No, it's a time factor. And it means you can stay out in the sun longer. That's why you don't need a sun protection factor of like 85, some of these ridiculously high sun protection factors. Now, how do they accomplish these high SPF numbers, by the way? By using more chemicals. And if a chemical's not good for your baby, it's not good for you either. What does that tell you? If you can't slather on your sunscreen on your baby, it's true, babies have thinner skin, and so they're going to get deeper penetration and maybe some blood penetration of some of these toxic chemicals. But if it's not good for your baby, it's not good for you either.
Well, don't older people, their skin thins as they get older, so it would be the same effect on them as well, I would think.
Probably the same idea. Yeah, it's absolutely correct. It's not good for anybody, Douglas. Now, here's the idea. First of all, I didn't hear anything about vitamins or nutritional supplements. Nutritional supplements and antioxidants are a tremendously effective way to protect yourself from the sun. Go get yourself, you know what I always tell people, Doug, and you probably heard me say this before, use the Vision FX. Take the Vision FX for maybe 2 or 3 weeks before you go out in the sun. Actually, go out, lay out in the sun, see how long it takes for you to burn. For most people, it'll be somewhere along the lines of 10, 15, 20 minutes before they burn, right? Go get yourself some Vision FX. Take a double dose of the Vision FX. Do it for 2 or 3 weeks. Then go out and lay out in the sun and watch what happens. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I am Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number, 888-379-2552. Toll free. We're going to take a break and come back with more good health information for you on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Don't go away. All right, we are back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. And we're taking your calls. We'll take your calls here in just a moment at 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. It was National Sunscreen Day this past Monday, so there was all kinds of articles about sunscreens and how you're supposed to slather on sunscreens and make sure you use your sunscreens and don't go out in the sun without your sunscreens. There's so many problems with that logic, that medical logic. I don't even know where to begin.
Giving it away free, huh?
What's that?
They were probably giving it away free someplace.
They want you on that sunscreen. First of all, they're toxic chemicals. What would happen, do you suppose, Doug, if you drank a sunscrreen?
Well, read the label. It tells you not to drink it.
Right,
it even has the number for poison control on
exactly. When I have a lab and I make some skincare products, and in the pharmacy I got to make sunscreens occasionally. The sunscreens have a skull and crossbones on them. The bottle that contains the actual octyl methoxycinnamate or oxybenzone or octocrylene has a skull and crossbones on it. It's poisonous stuff. If you drink it, you'd have to have your stomach pumped or you would die. Do you really want to slather that stuff on your skin? No, you don't.
I think a lot of people aren't aware. I wasn't until I met you and learned from you that your skin's like a big sponge. I mean, it soaks anything that your skin comes in contact with.
It soaks up.
The biggest example of that is that I saw a television show several years ago where some kids were playing in a field and they all came down with this horrible illness. Well, they figured out that the field they were playing in, it was early in the morning. It was a tobacco field. And the kids, it was early enough that there was still dew on the leaves of the tobacco plants, and the kids were running through them and getting the moisture on their skin, and they absorbed enough nicotine through their skin that it made them sick.
Yeah. Nicotine is very absorbable, actually. Not everything gets absorbed through the skin, although if you put enough of it, it will. But a lot of things do get absorbed through the skin, and sunscreens in particular are highly absorbable. They're fatty, and it's the fatty nature of a material that makes it transdermally viable. That is, it goes through the skin. There's so many things wrong with that article, Doug. I don't even know where to begin. But let me finish talking about this idea of using antioxidant nutrients, vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium, zinc, to protect your skin from the sun. In my opinion, that's the best way to protect your skin from the sun. And if you want to test this out for yourself, get eye vitamins, get something like the Vision FX, which is made with nutrients that protect the outer part of the eye. The cornea that covers the eye is coated with a layer of cells that's very similar to skin cells. And the Vision FX will protect that outer part of the eye, and it will also protect your skin. And you'll notice that if you're using the Vision FX, or if you're really getting on a good nutritional supplement program, not just the Vision FX, but you're getting your vitamin A, you're getting your zinc, you're getting your vitamin E, you're getting your Mighty 90 essential nutrients, you're going to notice that you're burning much less readily. So test it out for yourself. Go lay out in the sun. See how long it takes for you to burn. It's never a good idea to burn, so just go out maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, see where you're starting to burn. Then get on the Vision FX for a couple of weeks. Take a double dose. You make sure you're getting a good, healthy dose of the stuff. Then go out and lay out again after a couple of weeks or maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And what you'll notice, if you're like most people, is it's taking you much longer to burn. And this should be just common sense. It shouldn't be a leap, because the fact of the matter is what we call antioxidant nutrients protect our skin from oxidation from the sun. Photooxidation is what they call it, sun-based oxidation, just like it protects any other system of the body. And it's not just the nutrients that are protecting the skin from the body, but you also have to make sure that you're not putting toxins into the body, and that means toxins in the form of foods, which can destabilize the health and the chemistry of the skin, especially trans fatty acids and processed foods. Both of those can have a majorly negative effect on the skin, not only causing you to burn more readily, but also causing an acceleration of the skin aging process, which means wrinkles, which means dark spots, which means dry skin, and all of the other things that we hate about having our skin grow older. You don't have to have, just like you don't have to be sick inside, you don't have to be sick on the outside, but you do have to get yourself on the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. We made it real easy for you. It's called the Healthy Start Pack. Give us a call at 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. We can tell you all about it. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. We'll be back right after this.
All right, let's head to Texas. And Jan, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Jan.
Hi, Pharmacist Ben. It's Jan. How are you?
My friend Jan from Texas.
Yes.
What's up, Jan?
I've got a good friend on the line with us, and she has polycystic ovarian disease, anemia. She's had abnormal pap smear. They want to do.
They want to cut out her organs. Do they want to cut out her organs? That's the next step, probably.
They want to start with biopsies for her cervix and her uterus.
Okay.
She's just living a miserable life, Ben. She's irregular periods, heavy bleeding that lasts for weeks at a time.
We can help her. We can help her. Easy
I know
peasy.
You can help her.
We can help her. PCOS is an eating disease, number one, and then it morphs into an estrogen disease as well. So it starts off with insulin and blood sugar. That's the first step. When you have PCOS, is you want to work on your blood sugar system. It's almost like it's a pre-diabetic condition. You may already have diabetes for that matter, but it's at the very least pre-diabetes. So the first thing you want to do with PCOS, and by the way, for the listeners, PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a disease syndrome, if you will. It's a bunch of symptoms that all come together, and they follow the multiple growth of cysts in the ovary, hence the term polycystic ovaries. So what you want to do, first of all, is you want to start to work with your blood sugar system. That means getting yourself off of any kinds of foods that spike the blood sugar. Those are everybody's favorite foods: breads, pastas, cereals, fruits, fruit juices, desserts, soda pop. You know the drill. You know what you understand the foods, I'm sure. I call them insulin spiking foods. You want to restrict your intake of those kinds of foods. Instead, replace your calories with protein. Protein is very filling, very stabilizing, and it's the best way to wean yourself off of these kinds of foods. And by the way, you guys, it's just like I was saying at the beginning of the program. Almost every single, if not every single, degenerative disease crisis that we address or we deal with has underneath it some element of what's called dysglycemia, which is a fancy science way of saying bad blood sugar. So you got to focus on the blood sugar, weaning yourself off of the blood sugar spiking foods or insulin spiking foods, replacing them with protein. That's step number one. Step number two, start to use nutritional supplements that stabilize the blood sugar. And I'm talking about the Healthy Start Pack, the B vitamins, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, magnesium, the Sweeties product. I love the Sweeties product. The Z-Radical, you can use amino acids like taurine and arginine. There's a B vitamin-like substance called choline. All of these are in the Ultimate Daily and the Healthy Start Pack, by the way. If you use blood sugar stabilizing nutrients, and you use nutritional strategies for stabilizing blood sugar, meaning more protein and less insulin spiking foods, you're going to go a long way just by doing that to stabilizing the polycystic ovarian syndrome symptoms. Just that move alone. Then there's the second step, or the next step, which involves working with estrogen, because there's two components to PCOS. Number one is insulin, and number two is estrogen, or problems with insulin and problems with estrogen. Estrogen is kind of like a stress hormone. Not a lot of folks don't realize that. We hear all kinds of stuff about estrogen being a female hormone and a reproductive hormone, but in many ways it is a stress hormone, and you end up with elevated levels of estrogen when you're under a lot of stress, especially digestive stress. So along with stabilizing your blood sugar, you got to work on the digestive system, especially fat digestion. That means bile salts. That means digestive enzymes, the ultimate enzymes. Dr. Wallach calls them a gallbladder treatment in a bottle, and he's absolutely correct. Using the ultimate enzymes, which contain bile salts, can be a tremendous, tremendous help for PCOS, fat metabolism, as well as digestive problems. A couple more things, Jan, I want to tell you, so hang tight while we take a break. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number, or toll-free 888-379-2552. We're going to take a break and come back with more good health information on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. Don't go away. All right, we're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, talking to my friend Jan in Texas about PCOS. Jan, you there?
We are here. Thank you.
All right. So number one, you want to work with stabilizing blood sugar. If you're dealing with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, treat it like a pre-diabetic condition, and use the Sweeties product, magnesium, the Osteomag. Wean yourself off of the refined sugars and flours and cereals and breads and desserts and fruit juices, etc., and try to get more protein. That's the easiest way to wean yourself off of those foods. And obviously, when you start using these kinds of treatments and protocols, you're going to end up losing weight, you're going to have lower blood pressure, and you're going to improve your longevity as well as reduce your PCOS symptoms. That's step number one: stabilize the blood sugar and use blood sugar stabilizing nutrients like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, etc. Secondly, you want to work on the digestive system. There's a very important estrogen component, and whenever there's some kind of estrogen dysfunction in the body, you want to look at fat metabolism, fat processing, fat digestion. That means working with the digestive enzymes, which contain bile salts that are very important for fat digestion. Probiotics, also very, very important for fat digestion. Underappreciated. We know about probiotics for the digestive system. If you're constipated, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, for example, which is my favorite probiotic supplement, can help keep you regular. But what a lot of folks don't realize is that probiotics, good bacteria, are very important for helping process fats in the intestine. So using probiotics in addition to using your ultimate enzymes can be very important. If there is indeed frank or clear-cut digestive problems, the Z-Radical is also very helpful for the digestive system. And simply eating less food can also be important. And of course, using the essential fatty acids, the ultimate EFAs, which you'll get in the Healthy Start Pack, is also very, very important for all fat issues. If you want to throw a couple other things in there, some progesterone cream can be really helpful for PCOS. I don't know if anybody told your friend that, but balancing out estrogen using progesterone cream is one of my favorite strategies, and that's true for folks not just who have PCOS, but also for folks who have PMS, problem periods, or people who are worried, women who are worried about breast cancer or any other estrogenic cancers. And while I'm on the subject of estrogenic cancers and breast problems, and PCOS for that matter, anytime you have issues with the female reproductive system, think about iodine. Iodine is one of the most important nutritional elements for helping stabilize estrogen in the female reproductive system. And then last but most certainly not least, some folks get benefits from something called DHEA to help balance out estrogen. So there's tons of strategies there for you, and none of them involve a doctor, none of them involve the medical model, none of them involve insurance companies or prescription drugs or surgeries or any of the other protocols that you're going to get from your medical guru, your proponent of the medical model. I hope I helped you there, Jan. Anything else going on? Any other questions?
Nope, that's it. And other than just a little quick testimonial, you gave me that advice a couple of years ago to get off the sugar and use protein, and it worked. I mean,
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, along with the healthy blood sugar pack, I've lost 60 pounds. So.
Nice, Jan. You look great too. On top of that.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks a lot.
Good deal. Good to talk to you, Jan. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Okay, who's next, Douglas?
Let's head to Orange County, California. And Paul, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Paul.
I'm here.
What's up, Paul?
Yeah.
How you doing? Well, how can we help you?
This is Paul. I'm okay. I got a problem about the CRP, kind of high.
CRP, C-reactive protein? Did you say CRP?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, CRP.
I want to know how to lower it.
It's simple. CRP is just a marker of inflammation. It means you got inflammation going on in the body. Right? At the beginning of the program, I said underneath all degenerative disease, you're going to find some kind of immune or emergency activation. And that's what CRP is. It's a marker that the immune system is somehow activated. The immune system is your defense system. If the defense system is activated, just logic tells you that there's some kind of offending agent that's getting into the body. Now, offending agents only get into the body through a few ways. There's not a lot of ways things get inside the body. You can inject them. I assume you're not injecting anything. You're not an IV drug user or anything like that, assuming that's not the case. You could be breathing them in. Well, assuming you're not working in a coal mine or in a nuclear power plant, or you don't have a lot of toxins that you're breathing in, probably that's not where your elevated inflammation factors are coming in from. That only leaves us with one area, and that's the digestive system. So what you want to do, and this is for anybody out there dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, not just you, Paul, but anybody, you want to first and foremost focus on digestive health. I know I say that all the time, but it's so critical to understand for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's just logical. It works. And number two, it's because once we start to control our digestive systems, the kind of foods we're eating, strengthening the digestive system, we can wean ourselves off of prescription drugs, off of any kind of medical model protocols that in the long run are going to do nothing but shorten our longevity. So anytime you've got elevated inflammatory factors or any kind of chronic degenerative disease, first, focus on digestive health. Paul, get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Get on the Healthy Start Pack. Start using the Z-Radical. That Z-Radical product, by the way, is almost like a miracle nutritional supplement. It's not part of the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients, but the benefits you get for digestive health, for immune health, and for blood health are unbelievable. Get on the Z-Radical. Get on the Healthy Start Pack. Start sipping on the BTT. Chances are, if you do have a digestive issue, you can't really absorb all those nutrients real quickly. And it's always a good idea anyway, even if you don't have a digestive problem, to sip on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and then make sure you're using the Biolumin Nightly Essence. That would be my recommendation for you for CRP, but not just C-reactive protein for the listeners. That's not just for folks who have inflammatory markers like CRP. It's for everybody who's got a chronic degenerative disease. The Biolumin Nightly Essence, the digestive enzymes, the Z-Radical, and the Healthy Start Pack. Thanks so much for your call, Paul. Hope we helped.
I
you have something else?
I take hydrochloric acid and enzymes.
Those are helpful. That's helpful. You're going to get some HCl, hydrochloric acid, in the Ultimate Enzyme product, but if you're on an HCl, stay on it. Are you using the drops?
I'm also taking the Mighty 90.
You're already doing the Mighty 90. How about the Z-Radical?
Pardon me?
Are you using the Z-Radical?
I'm using all four of them. Whatever.
Z-Radical. The Z-Radical is a fucoidin product, and it's a liquid. It's a very tasty product. You do a couple of capfuls a day, and then also the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Throw both of those into the Healthy Start Pack, and are you getting hydrochloric acid on your own or through the longevity products?
On my own, I take hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and multiple enzymes.
Where do you get them from?
Teratech, Martech products.
Okay, that's fine. Stay on that one. That's great. Get on the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. Throw in the Z-Radical, and then also the Biolumin Nightly Essence probiotics. And by the way, next week, I'm proud to say that Longevity is going to be featuring the Beyond Organic products. And the Beyond Organic products is are fermented products made by a guy named Jordan Rubin, who's the author of a really neat book called The Maker's Diet. And he's formulated these products, and he actually makes the products himself. Or his company makes the products, and they're fermented herbs as well as fermented dairy products that are wonderful for the digestive system. And those will be a part of the Longevity line starting on June the 2nd. That's coming up this Monday. I'm going to have Jordan Rubin on my program next week, The Bright Side. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it, Paul. Let's see if we can squeeze one more in before break, Douglas.
All right, let's head to Arizona. And Carolyn, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hi, Pharmacist Ben. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I'm calling about my uncle. He was recently diagnosed with amyloidosis.
Okay.
And he's lost 60 pounds.
All right, let's talk about amyloidosis. That's just another example of how we get these crazy Latin words that just serve to disempower us and obfuscate and confuse what are really basically simple matters of breakdown in the body. That's like I was talking about at the beginning of the program, how the body breaks down generically, even though it may look like there's all kinds of specific locations that the breakdown is occurring or specific biochemical things that are happening. It's just a generic way that the body breaks down. Amyloidosis is the accumulation of various proteins in different organs of the body. Hang tight, Carolyn. It's a very important subject, and we'll address it when we come back from our break. I am Pharmacist Ben, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. We are coming back at you right after this break. Don't go away. All right, we are back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got a couple more minutes to talk to you at 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. Let's see, we're talking amyloidosis. I'm sorry, ma'am, what was your name? I seem to have...
Carolyn?
Hi, Carolyn. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. When cells break down, they don't do their work. They start to make the wrong things. They make too much stuff. They make too little stuff, or they make the wrong stuff. And this is all secondary to the cells breaking down, the cells becoming defective, the cells becoming sick. Okay, does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, so cells become sick, they start to make the wrong things, or they don't make enough of the right things, or they make too much of the right things. One of the things that'll happen is they'll start to make too much protein. One of these proteins is called amyloid, and this is what amyloidosis is. Amyloidosis is the accumulation of these proteins that are being dysfunctionally produced out of broken down cells. So what do you suppose the solution would be? It's pretty commonsensical. You figure out why the cells are breaking down. It's as simple as that. And you guys, not just Carolyn, everybody listening, this is how you deal with the degenerative disease process. And it's not a doctor issue. It's a lifestyle issue. It's how we take care of ourselves, especially vis-a-vis nutrition and nutritional supplementation. So amyloidosis is the manifestation of cells that are not doing the right thing. Cells that are not doing the right thing are not doing the right thing because they're breaking down. Cells are breaking down for 3 reasons and 3 reasons only. They're breaking down because they're starved, they're breaking down because they're suffocated, and they're breaking down because they're toxic. And I don't care if it's amyloidosis or Alzheimer's disease or osteoporosis or Parkinson's disease or cancer or anything. The only thing that happens that causes these kinds of degenerative diseases is broken down cells. Cells only break down because they're suffocated, they're starved, and they're toxic. So what do? Number 1, let's deal with the toxicity. You got to eliminate the entrance of poisons into the body. As I was saying to our last caller, largely that comes in through the foods. So we want to correct the digestive system. Anybody with amyloidosis, guaranteed, has long-standing digestive problems that are inducing toxicity. Get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, use the digestive enzymes, the ultimate enzymes. It wouldn't hurt you to get on the Z-Radical. And most importantly, look for problem foods that induce constipation or diarrhea or heartburn, and eliminate them. And if you want a clue, if gluten is probably a big problem. Cheese, dairy can be another problem. Really anything can be a problem. Just look for digestive symptoms and then link those up to foods and then eliminate those foods. The second part of our triad of disease, if you will, of suffocation and starvation and toxification of a cell, the second part is suffocation. Make sure you're deep breathing, or make sure your client or your patient or your friend, whoever it is practicing deep breathing techniques, and that means both inhale and exhale. Inhaling is when the oxygen comes in. Exhale is when the toxins come out. You always want to exhale a little bit more than you inhale. And then thirdly, the starvation aspect means get on the mighty 90 essential nutrients. No ifs, ands, or buts. We've made it so easy for you to do that by using the Healthy Start Pack. It'll cost $3 a day to make sure that you're getting on the mighty 90 essential nutrients. It'll cost $3 a day to make sure that cells are getting everything they need. It'll cost $3 a day to eliminate this starvation aspect that is such an important part of cellular breakdown. And we call it the Healthy Start Pack. Call your longevity rep. Get on the mighty 90 essential nutrients. Sip on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Take 3 essential fatty acid, ultimate essential fatty acid capsules every day. Sip on the OsteoFX. Make sure you're using the OsteoFX, and as I said, it wouldn't hurt you to use the Z-Radical and the Biolumin Nightly Essence to make sure that you've got your digestive system running on all cylinders. It's really as simple as that. And don't be bamboozled. Don't be confused by the obfuscating Latin terms, the disempowering medical jargon that gets bandied about like amyloidosis or fibromyalgia or superintiva dentitis, whatever. It's got all kinds of crazy Latin terms, and you don't want to be bamboozled by it. The basic idea is the body's breaking down, secondary to cells breaking down, and it really doesn't take a lot to make sure that your cells aren't breaking down. It takes making sure you're not toxifying the body. It takes making sure that you're getting enough oxygen and blowing off carbon dioxide. And it most especially means making sure that you're using the Mighty 90 essential nutrients, which you'll get from the Healthy Start Pack. It's so easy, folks. Nobody has to deal with chronic degenerative disease. If you're dealing with a degeneration, understand that it's in the body's nature to regenerate. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks so much for listening. For Doug Winfrey, Doc Wallach, all the folks at the CBS Radio Network, have yourselves an awesome, wonderful, beautiful day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.